The world is full of places you can visit, but it's also hiding a list of spots you absolutely shouldn't. From toxic ghost towns and burning craters to islands crawling with deadly snakes and bunkers shrouded in secrecy, these locations are sealed off, locked down, or just too dangerous for most of us to even approach. In this video, we're pulling back the curtain on 10 hidden places you were never meant to see, but we're going there anyway. If you're into uncovering the world's strangest and most forbidden corners, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Tenfold Gold, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next journey into the off-limits and unknown. In the middle of Western Australia's blistering Pilbara region lies Wittenoom, a ghost town so toxic it's been erased from official maps. Once, it was a bustling community built on the promise of blue asbestos mining. At its peak in the 1950s and 60s, hundreds of workers toiled here, unaware that every shift coated their lungs with lethal fibers. When the truth emerged, Wittenoom became a public health nightmare. The mine shut, but the danger never left. Asbestos dust still swirls through the streets, clings to the soil, and settles inside abandoned homes. The government sealed off the area, cut electricity, and even removed the town's postcode, hoping the last stubborn residents would leave. Some refused, determined to live out their lives there on their own terms. Today, rusting machinery sits half buried in red dust, corrugated iron homes bake in the heat, and the silence is only broken by the wind, carrying with it an invisible, deadly threat. Wittenoom is more than abandoned. It's a place the land itself wants gone. Turkmenistan's Karakum Desert hosts a pit that's been burning for over half a century. Officially known as the Darvaza gas crater, locals simply call it the door to hell, and when you see it at night, you'll understand why. This vast 230-foot wide hole is the result of a Soviet drilling mishap in 1971. When an exploratory rig punctured a pocket of natural gas, the ground collapsed, swallowing equipment and creating the crater. Fearing poisonous fumes, scientists decided to set the gas alight, expecting it to burn off in a few days. That was over 50 years ago. Today, the flames still roar, visible from miles away, casting an eerie orange glow across the barren landscape. It's become an unlikely tourist attraction, drawing visitors who camp nearby just to stare into its churning inferno. The heat hits your face long before you reach the edge, and the sound is like a jet engine in the earth. Whether you see it as a scientific blunder or nature's own bonfire, the door to hell is one place that never cools down. High above the Arctic Circle, on a remote Norwegian island, there's a building designed to outlast civilization itself. The Svalbard Global Seed Vault is a concrete wedge jutting from a snowy mountainside, looking more like a set from a sci-fi thriller than a piece of agricultural infrastructure. Its purpose is deceptively simple, but profoundly important, to safeguard the world's crop diversity in case of global catastrophe. Inside, the temperature is kept at a constant -18 degrees centigrade, with millions of seed samples stored in sealed, moisture-proof packets. Wheat from Syria, rice from the Philippines, beans from Mexico, a living library of humanity's agricultural history. The location wasn't chosen for scenic views. Svalbard is politically stable, geologically quiet, and cold enough that even if the power fails, the permafrost will keep the seeds frozen for decades. It's been nicknamed the Doomsday Vault, but it's less about apocalypse chic and more about insurance. If climate change, war, or disease wipes out a crop somewhere in the world, the vault ensures we can replant from scratch. In other words, it's the planet's most important freezer. About 90 miles off the coast of São Paulo lies a lush, green island that's strictly off-limits to the public, and for good reason. Ilha de Queimada Grande, better known as Snake Island, is home to one of the highest concentrations of venomous snakes on Earth. Specifically, the golden lancehead viper, a species so deadly its bite can kill in under an hour. Estimates suggest there's at least one snake for every square meter, which means setting foot here is like stepping into a nightmare terrarium. The snakes didn't get here by chance. Thousands of years ago, rising sea levels cut the island off from the mainland, isolating its snake population and allowing it to evolve in total peace. With no predators and plenty of migratory birds to snack on, their numbers exploded. Brazilian law bans visitors, though the occasional research team braves it in full protective gear. For most people, Snake Island is best admired from a very safe distance, preferably one measured in miles, not meters. Floating in the Bay of Bengal, North Sentinel Island is part of India's Andaman Islands and home to the Sentinelese, one of the world's last uncontacted peoples. They've lived here for tens of thousands of years, completely isolated from the outside world, and they intend to keep it that way. Any approach by outsiders is met with a hail of arrows, whether you're a fisherman drifting too close or, infamously, a missionary attempting to spread the word without government permission. The result is always the same: no one gets out alive. Protected by Indian law, the island is strictly off-limits to preserve both the Sentinelese way of life and their health. Having no immunity to common diseases, even a cold could devastate them. Aerial footage shows dense jungle fringed by bright beaches, but no permanent structures. The tribe survives by fishing, hunting, and gathering, in a world untouched by modern technology. North Sentinel Island remains a place where time hasn't just stood still, it's actively telling you to back off. Deep in Australia's Red Centre, surrounded by endless desert, sits Pine Gap, a facility so secretive that even its true purpose is up for debate. Officially, it's a joint US-Australian satellite tracking station, but many believe that's only part of the story. With its massive white radar domes, the golf balls on the horizon, and heavy security, Pine Gap has been linked to everything from drone warfare coordination to signals intelligence and nuclear strike targeting. If you've seen a spy thriller set in the outback, this is probably where they imagined the shady phone calls happening. Built in the late 1960s at the height of the Cold War, the base is still active today, run by both the CIA and the Australian Signals Directorate. Locals know better than to try and get too close. Roads in are blocked, patrols keep curious visitors away, and aerial photography is heavily restricted. While the domes might look almost whimsical from a distance, Pine Gap is one of the most closely guarded intelligence hubs on the planet, the beating heart of the West's eyes and ears in the southern hemisphere. Tucked away in the icy folds of Russia's Ural Mountains, Mezhgorye is the sort of place that doesn't appear on most maps, and that's no accident. Officially, it's a closed administrative territorial formation, which is Soviet speak for mind your own business. The town's population is thought to be around 17,000, but outsiders have no idea what they actually do there. The prevailing theory? Mezhgorye exists to service and protect Mount Yamantau, a sprawling underground facility rumored to be a nuclear bunker, weapons lab, or even the command center for Russia's government in the event of all-out war. Whatever's under that mountain, the Kremlin isn't sharing. Satellite imagery shows constant construction, guarded checkpoints ring the area, and no journalist has ever been allowed in. Even defectors have offered little beyond vague hints. The place is so secretive that some Russians joke about it being their equivalent of Area 51, except instead of UFOs, it's hiding apocalypse-level hardware. Snow-covered streets, armed patrols, and a complete information blackout make Mezhgorye one of the most impenetrable communities on Earth. Hidden in the heart of Pyongyang, Room 39 is more than just a murky North Korean slush fund. It's also a very real, very secretive office inside an unremarkable government building. Officially, it doesn't exist. Unofficially, it's believed to be the financial nerve center of Kim Jong-un's regime, generating billions through everything from legal trade to black market ventures, counterfeiting, arms sales, and illicit narcotics. The money allegedly keeps the ruling elite in power, funding everything from nuclear weapons programs to the leader's lavish lifestyle. Its physical location is rumored to be tucked within the Workers' Party of Korea's headquarters, behind layers of guards, locked doors, and the sort of surveillance that makes spy movies look underprepared. No outsider has ever been inside, and those who've worked there don't tend to talk, for obvious reasons. What makes Room 39 so unsettling is the combination of shadowy global operations and its status as a tangible, bricks-and-mortar hub of secrecy, power, and control in one of the world's most closed-off nations. Diego Garcia looks like the sort of place travel magazines would gush over, a turquoise-ringed atoll in the middle of the Indian Ocean, with coconut palms swaying over pristine white sand. But you can't book a holiday here. In the 1970s, the entire native Chagosian population was forcibly removed by the British government, making way for a massive U.S. military base. Families were loaded onto ships and dumped in Mauritius and the Seychelles, often with nothing but the clothes they were wearing, so that Washington could have an unsinkable aircraft carrier in the region. Today, the island is off-limits to civilians. The base bristles with radar domes, runways capable of launching bombers to anywhere in the Middle East or Asia, and enough security to make sure no one gets a peek inside. To this day, the displaced Chagosians fight for the right to return home, but their paradise remains a locked-down fortress in the middle of the ocean, a postcard-perfect island with a history that's anything but idyllic. Mount Weather, carefully hidden in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, USA, looks like an unremarkable government facility from the outside. A few plain buildings, a fence, some watchful cameras. But beneath those wooded hills lies one of the United States' most secretive bunkers, built to keep the federal government running in the event of nuclear war or national catastrophe. Inside, there's said to be enough living space, offices, and resources to house key officials for months, complete with its own power plant, water supply, and even a hospital. The public only really became aware of Mount Weather in 1974, when a passenger plane crashed nearby and journalists started asking awkward questions. Since then, access has been strictly off-limits, with only heavily vetted personnel ever setting foot inside. In times of national crisis, it's rumored to be the destination for top politicians, whisked away by helicopter while the rest of the country fends for itself. Whether it's a lifeline or a symbol of government secrecy, one thing's certain, you're not getting past that gate. And there you have it, 10 places so hidden, dangerous, or forbidden that you were never meant to set foot in them. From burning pits in the desert to bunkers buried beneath mountains, each one is a reminder that our planet still has plenty of secrets it's not ready to share. Which of these would you dare to get close to? And which would you avoid like the plague? If you enjoyed this journey into the world's most off-limits locations, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Tenfold Gold, and ring that notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into the strange and the hidden. And if you know of another place the rest of us aren't supposed to see, drop it in the comments. We might just feature it next time.